Hey guys, I'm Fancy, and you're watching the Good Wives Network. Oh my goodness, what a morning. You know what, guys? I didn't even think about showing you the back of my shirt, my sweatshirt that I was wearing the other night that I just love. You know, I've been talking about working on grace, right? Working on grace. Look at this. Look at this. Can you see it? It says grow with grace. Got all of my little mushrooms on it. I didn't even think about this the other day, but I am working on grace. I may not always achieve grace. I may not always achieve sensibility and rationality, because I don't know about what it is about the Deei Blanchard case, but it makes people effing nuts. No, Taylor, no one's going to join my live today. I don't think. Maybe if we have questions later, but I don't really want to talk about this case very long. I'm going to try to get into the Summer Wells case that people have been asking me to look at. I don't know a whole lot about it. I know we've Fancy Grace. I love that. Oh, that needs to go on a fucking shirt. Oh my gosh, I wanted to show you guys. So, you know how they say, she's a business and blah, 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 and she just wants to make money. Yeah, because I designed these years ago, and we've been selling them at conventions and things. This is for our Rise in Crime, which we're doing right now. And it's I do not care. I do not care. We also have coffee. Like, seriously, we've been doing this a long time. Yes, we're a business. Yes, we make money doing this. Actually, we only started recently making money doing this. And we still put in more money than we make, but yes, we do make money, but right now it's still me and Colleen putting in 100% of money, like tons and tons. But anyway, that's my little thing. I'll be selling them in the shop as soon as I get it all freaking reconnected, since, some people wanted to take my fucking platform from me again. For what? For talking? For what? For talking. I don't bully you people. I don't do anything to any of you people. And you all just fucking come at me constantly. And then you wonder why I act but poorly. But good morning. I've got my cup. Okay, so this morning I wanted to talk about a couple of things that somebody sent in to me. One of them is the birth certificate of Deei. Okay? So, and it's really funny, because the person who sent it to me didn't even realize that it was mine when they sent it to me. Probably found it on Reddit. It's got my fucking watermark all over it, by proxy. Anytime you see anything that says by proxy on it, that's mine. That's mine. So there are changing birth dates on Deei's birth certificate too. There is 1958 and 1967. Now I know that she was born in 67. I know that. I've spoke with the family. I have the little timeline from the family. They drew me like a little thing. I posted it the other day. I don't know what I did with it, but I posted it the other day. And it was a picture that one of the sisters drew me, showing each child and their nicknames and their birth dates, so that I would know. And there's a one more child. He was named Todd, and he died in infancy. He was the youngest, younger than Deei. But Deei, thank you. I like my glasses too. I'm about to get new glasses because these are just my readers, and I actually need glasses. But anyway, and then there was Todd, which people have tried to allege that Todd might have been, might be married to Gypsy. It's all such a convoluted mess. I don't know what it is about this case and why it just keeps getting wilder and wilder and crazier and crazier. But let me tell you, it breeds crazy. That's what it does. This case breeds fucking crazy. Somebody made a comment earlier about how, do you hear yourself and how crazy everybody has been with you and wronged you? Yeah, I do. I do hear myself. No, my other page is down right now. They took it for community violations because, I'm bullying them by posting their own fucking conversations that they're bullying me. But, apparently I'm bullying them by them bullying me. Whatever. No, she can't get in trouble for monetizing off her crime. Unfortunately, I think that's a bullshit fucking thing. It violates her First Amendment rights for free speech. Fuck that. This case breeds crazy, though. This case breeds crazy. Okay? That's all it does. So somebody brought that up about the birth certificate, and I thought that was really interesting because, yes, it has a very, very, very dark energy about it. I've never seen anything about it. I can tell you that I felt that when I walked into Springfield. I can feel driving into Springfield. You're not very late. I'm just starting. I feel a change in the air. I'm very connected to the earth. I am very connected to souls. I I've got those kind of skills and abilities. And I'm telling you, the air changes. The air changes. You know what? I'll have to look up Todd's birth year. If I can find the little paper, I'll look for it in a minute. Just give me a second and we'll look at that. But, aw, thank you, nursing home chick. That's awesome. Miss Christina, I bet you miss Christina a lot if you've been with us that long. So, hey, Canada. Anyway, I'm wondering, I know Deei and Emma. Emma is Dee's mother. I know I think it's 67, Alicia. I know that they were running scams a long time before Gypsy ever came along. Emma's been in trouble for it before, so is Deei. In fact, it's really funny, though. I can't find any of those arrest records. Interesting, right? I think it's interesting. They must be lost along with, the numerous times that she dragged Mr. Rod, daddy option number 1, into court. Yeah. So anyway, so I think that's what was going on. I think they were already doing it. I don't know. No, my chickens are not back up yet. I'm working on it. I will get them back up, but my little chickens, I'm working on that today. Once I get off here today, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to try and figure out why TikTok and my shop didn't get restored when my freaking thing got restored. Because my store, my merchandise, my personal merchandise, like this shit right here, it's still there to purchase. It's just not connected to my TikTok anymore, and I'm kind of pissed about it. So, Harmony Montgomery case. Yes, I've been looking at that. I'm going to look at Summer Wells here in a second, though, after we talk about the other thing that I want to talk about with Gypsy. So, somebody sent this in. Let me get it up real quick. How is everybody this morning? Please keep tapping and sharing. Kept tapping and sharing. You heard Jason Fox? No, I don't know Jason. No, I haven't talked about Lacey Spears yet. I haven't. I want to do a little bit more research again because I'm coming back to that after a while, and I wanted to make sure that I get the facts and things right. I do have an outline that I wrote a long time ago, so I'm going to probably work off of that, so it shouldn't take me very long to start talking about her. But I'm trying to pull up this. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to try and show it to you as well. So a lot of our viewers have been talking about the personalities. And we have determined that a lot of the personalities we believe have come from possibly social media, pop culture, things like that. Hi, Nikki. And so, some people have been looking for the references and where did she get them and what happened and all of that. And so, look, this one was sent in to us. Let me see if I can turn this around so you guys can see it. This one right here, and I don't know if you can see really well, but it is Ruby from Supernatural, okay? Fuck, I don't know, maybe because it's not going like she planned. That might be why she turned off all her comments. I've said it from the very beginning. This is not going the way that they planned, folks. They really didn't. Okay, and here's this one. Ooh, this is a good one. This is Ruby from Supernatural. Do you see what she's holding there? Do you see? Doesn't that look familiar? Doesn't it look familiar to you? Doesn't it look... yeah? Does it? Yeah. I think so too. Let's read about Ruby real quick. Ruby is a demon on the CW's television network Supernatural, portrayed mainly by actors, whatever, created by the writers, blah, blah, blah. But listen to this. By the 4th season... she is warned, and I don't watch Supernatural, so you guys, if you watch it, tell me what you think about this, because this is a theory from a viewer. I'm sorry, let me start over again with, this is all allegedly in my opinion, and for entertainment and educational purposes only, and the opinions of the host do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Good Wives Network. Thank you. All right, so let's read this. By 4th season, she won Sam's trust and begins training him to unalive demons with his psychic powers, though Dean remains fearful of ulterior motives. The character is unalived at the end of the 4th season. In the 15th season, Ruby returns through flashbacks and a visit to the angels and demons afterlife. So, comments, questions, thoughts on this theory of this is where she's getting all of her things, because people have found, they found Ruby, they found Demona, they found others. So I'm just wondering, what do you guys think? Though not many crime scene photos, the ones where she's laying laying there broke my soul. Yeah, I know. Good morning, Michelle, at 4 a.m. in there. I don't think it's a coincidence at all. Yeah, I think that she pulled them from pop culture. We know that she was into True Blood. We know that she was into Game of Thrones. Which, you know, she's so sheltered, right? She didn't have any education. Right. 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 I mean, I'm just saying. There's a story there. Anyway, I want to thank our lovely viewers for sending that in. I'm not going to out you on here because I don't know if your name is the same or if you want it outed, but, you know, she romanticized all her shows. She did. And you know what, guys? Let me pull up the Summer Wells case real quick because that's what I was going to look at next with you guys. You know, I think that she had such a rich wanting for a fantasy life. I think that she's disturbed in that way. I think there is something. No. I think Jessica, why are you inviting? What are you wanting to do? Oh, great. Now it's like stuck. Great. Now it's stuck. Decline. Oh, fucking Christ. Okay. Sorry. She does. She draws all of her stories from fantasy books. I think that that's where she gets all these fantasy, the lies and things, and that's why she can't keep them straight, because she didn't actually perfect them. She didn't try to work on them. She just thought everybody would accept them and just go, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. But I'm sorry, baby, it don't make perfect sense anymore. It don't make perfect sense. And when I started seeing that none of it made perfect sense, that's when they started getting mad at me. She got mad at me over a boy. Christy got mad at me because I was going to end their gravy train by talking about something they don't want me talking about. I think Dan and Gypsy did set up Nick to commit the perfect crime. I do too. I think it's why they moved it up 2 days. I think it's why he still had a bus ticket, because I think she was going to make him go ahead and get caught there. And she had already mailed the freaking knife at that point, right? Right. Anyway, okay. So, is there a place, anybody that follows the Summer Wells case, that that can direct me to somewhere? I'm sorry, Tiffany. You're going to be lost then, babe. But we're going to talk about a new case, so we're talking this way. She is way too calculating. Absolutely way too calculating. All right, so I'm going to the Find Summer Wells. There's something about Summer Wells' aunt as well, right? That's what I understand. News Nation, fuck you. I ain't gonna look at your shit ever. You're not credible. You let people like Christy Blanchard come on and lie. Updates on disappearance of 4-year-old Summer. I remember Colleen and I covering this. Yeah, no problem, Tiffany. And just keep coming back, baby, because you're gonna keep getting information about the Gypsy Rose story if you come here. Hey, bravo. What do you know about the Summer Wells case? Have you ever followed the Summer? Chris Watts. Okay, let me go back. Jamie Lee. We are doing Chris Watts. We've already written out our whole thing for it. That was one of the first things we were going to do for the season 3 of The Good Wives Guide to True Crime. When we had decided that we were going to go with all of Moms Who Unalive, which we were going to do Casey Anthony and all of those. But Casey is actually Christina's favorite case, so it has been very hard for me and Colleen to do that one, so we decided we would do Watts. I've got a lot to say about Watts. You know what? I'll look into Summer Wells, but let's talk a little bit about Watts. That way I don't have to have my computer open and everything. I know quite a bit about Watts. And I actually, these dads these family annihilators, that's what they're called, family annihilators. And they are these guys, you know, usually it's a guy who will take out his entire family, and then a lot of times will turn it on themselves, right? And so Watts is very similar. Hold on, let me grab a book. I want to show you guys a book. And I actually interviewed Lena Derhally. Lena Derhally is the one who wrote, if I can find it, I may not have it here. I have it somewhere. I've done a lot of research on, oh, here we go. This is another good book. All right, I've got this. Oh, I know where the other one is. Okay. So listen, let's start with Watts here, okay? Watts is very similar to this story here, which we covered in our first episodes of the third season of Good Wives Guide to True Crime. This is the Christian Longo story. Very similar to Watts, okay? Very, 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 very similar to Watts. And I have actually talked to Michael Finkel, which is the guy that he pretended to be. I've actually talked to him. At the time, he declined to do an interview because he just didn't want to talk about this anymore. But he talked to me. He just didn't want to do an interview where he had to like come on. So yeah. Bravo. Do you know a lot about this story? I'd love to have you up if you do. I definitely want to cover the Menendez brothers. That's a case that I watched unfold in real time when I was young. But anyway, this is a book about Christian Longo. And if you want to hear about Christian Longo, go listen to our podcast. We covered this story already. Okay, so now this book, Till Death Do Us Part, is written by Dr. Robbie Ludwig and Matt Burbeck. I have interviewed Robbie Ludwig. I believe that Robbie Ludwig is on either our YouTube or on our podcast second season. I don't remember which case. But this case is really interesting because she talks about Watson here and what kind this is a great book, okay? It talks about the different kinds of unalivers here. Okay, so you've got the betrayal and abandonment unaliver, the control unaliver, the sociopathic unaliver, the black widow prophet unaliver, the narcissistic unaliver, the temper tantrum unaliver, the transference unaliver, the revenge unaliver, the pregnancy unaliver, the caregiver unaliver, and then she goes on for other things. And she's really great. She does, and I also interviewed Lena Durhally, who wrote the book on Chris Watts, My Daddy is a Hero. We interviewed her too about that story and about some other things. So I think that's up on our thing too. If it's not, I'll make sure it gets put up soon. The name of my podcast is called The Good Wives Guide to True Crime. It's on all major platforms, including our YouTube station, Spotify, Apple. Now there might be a problem. We had it up at one point in time, then we switched platforms, and when we switched platforms, they erased it. So if you get it and it doesn't play, just find it again. It's another really good one. Okay, but I wanted to talk about Watts in this, so let me go back and see what she has to say, what Robbie has to say about this, because I thought her information about it was really, really good. I know she put it in here. I think she considers him to be I know she talks about Scott Peterson in here a lot, which is something that we talked about before. Temper tantrum, no. If anything, I think he's the narcissistic one is what she would have put him under. Let me see here. The narcissistic, 97. Let's see if he's in this book under that, because I know we talked about him. I know he's in here. Let's see here. Ooh, Pamela Smart. That's another good one. I've talked with her too. Or know people who've talked with her, actually. I haven't talked with her personally, but we've talked with her too. Okay, well, I can't find what I'm looking for, but this book is really great. It talks about why the people do what they do, especially in marriages. And so Family Unalivers, it's called Till Death Do Us Part by my friend, Dr. Robbie Ludwig. Okay? And it talks a lot about why people do what they do, why people unalive in marriage situations. And with Watts, he is very, very, very similar. And you know what, guys, I'm going to link these books and stuff. You can go buy them on our Amazon. It helps us out. But I'll link these, and we'll put them in the chats, and we'll put them on our page. I'll put some books for you guys to start reading about some of the cases. I'm going to go ahead and do. Yes, Scott Peterson and Chris Watts do have similar personalities, as well as Christian Longo. Okay, it's a specific type of unaliver. just like with Gypsy, there is definite like patterns and things, and those women that do things like Gypsy did, women that did things like Gypsy did have certain personality traits as well, like Jodi Arias and Diane Downs, and even Darlie, who I'm on the fence as to whether Darlie Routier actually did the unaliving of her children or not. I'm talking with her sister. I've been going through the case files. I've been trying to look at all that stuff, but they have specific personalities, certain traits, certain things. They don't just do this out of a moment of just whatever. That's not how these people do this. There is a inciting incident that usually happens. Then there is more things that pile on, and then eventually they get to a point that they snap. And it's not snapping in the way like, oh my God, I'm going to do it right now. No, they snap, and they've gotten too much, like with Longo and Watts. Longo and Watts both had serious financial problems. They both were habitual, kind of liars and putting on a face for the public in whichever way. Longo, his wife, and him were in a very, very religious section of things. And so he grew up that way, and they had to put on a front. Chris Watts, his wife is all over, all over, social media, and she's putting, their whole life out there, and it's the highlight reel, guys. It's the highlight reel. And, I don't know that the rumors are true. If she's going back, I would not know. But anyway, what? Anyway, so back to this murder memoir, mea culpa. This is all about Christian Longo, who basically unalived his entire family, his wife, his children. He packed them up into suitcases and threw them into the bay. Okay, and then he takes off and he pretends to be this journalist from New York Times. Well, this journalist from New York Times, Christian Longo, this journalist from New York Times, gets contacted when he's arrested, and they say, he's been impersonating you. Well, this journalist from New York Times, Michael, he had his own problems. He went and wrote a article about something about the workers in Africa, and he sourced it wrong, and he got in big trouble, and they freaking they fired him, and they had a retraction and all this stuff. So that's what happened with this Longo case. But they're both very similar, and Family Annihilators are super similar in the way that their minds work, in the way that they think, and it becomes they let it fester inside of them instead of taking the responsibility or changing the behaviors that they don't like, or getting a divorce, or any of those things. Those are not things that go through their head. They never even considered divorce. Chris never even considered it, not even a second. Oh, yes, we have covered Drew Peterson over on YouTube. Colleen really likes that one. She did a great job. Yes, we accept all the emails. I see every single one of them, even when I don't take it in the first place. My team always brings everything to me. They always have. That's why I say with the Gypsy Rose case, I know everything there is to know about it in what we've researched, because I touch every piece of every case. I never, ever just stand on what my team has done, because I want to make sure that when I say things that they're truthful. So don't be scared to reach out to us. I'm not going to bite you. I'm not crazy like people try to say. But so with Longo, the financial stuff was building up. The law was on their frickin' tails from things he had done. He'd committed crimes where he'd stolen a car. He'd done different stuff. Okay. And so the doors were closing in on him, much like the doors were closing in on Gypsy. And then he, instead of taking his licks and saying, yes, okay, I should go to jail for these things, I should and I definitely should let my wife go because I'm not the husband that she needs. I'm not the man that she needs. I've been lying to her. I've been lying to myself. I've been lying to my kids. I've embarrassed her. I've done all these things and she stood by me, and I should either, let my wife go, or I should take responsibility for the things. Play Please stop asking me about Gypsy right now. It distracts me and I don't want to talk about her right now. We're not talking about that right now. We already talked about what I wanted to talk about with her today, and that's as far as I'm going to talk about her, okay? Anyway, so we've got, we've got the doors closing in on him. Same thing with Chris Watts. Like I said, there was massive problems with him and with his wife and his family. There were massive problems between him and his wife. Here's a new baby that they're going to be bringing. Okay, no problem. But please can we stop talking about Gypsy at this point? Can we just do that? Thank you, Stevie. Okay, so they're having this new baby that I don't think he really wanted. I think that was a save the marriage type of baby. Scott and Chris, why they didn't get a divorce and move on, because it's not in their nature. And she talks about this. Dr. Ludwig talks about this. Let me see. I want to talk about, where does she put it? Because she's so good at putting this together. And this is why my nonprofit is about preventing intimate partner violence, stop the cycle of abuse, is because I'm very, very, very much into these types of cases. I want to read this to you real quick. This is the prologue from the book, Till Death Do Us Part. And she talks about a lot of unalivers in this, and they're all unalivers that are in marriages and took their families' lives. So, each day, 6 people are murdered in the U.S. by a spouse or intimate partner. Another 2,700 people daily, or almost 1 million per year, are physically assaulted victims of what the U.S. Department of Justice calls intimate partner violence. Violent crimes such as assault, rape, and robbery perpetuated by spouses, boyfriends, and girlfriends. Over the years, many of these cases have attracted national notoriety through extensive coverage on CNN, Fox, MSNBC, Court TV, daytime and cable talk shows, the internet, newspapers, as millions of viewers and readers try to understand why one spouse would unalive another. From David and Clara Harris to Scott and Lacey Peterson to OJ and Nicole Simpson, Americans are fascinated by behind-the-scenes stories of spousal violence. And with each new case and the continual media coverage and fascination it draws, the Peterson case was an international phenomenon, while the Harris case, in which she repeatedly ran over her husband with a car, who also reported around the world and spawned 24-hour coverage, several magazine articles, a book, and even a CBS TV movie, Suburban Madness. We become immersed in another form of reality TV. And this is what I'm telling you guys. And this is why it's dangerous that Gypsy Rose is on social media with 9.9 million followers. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to talk about Watts. Listen though. Okay. We become immersed in another form of reality TV, where the average citizen is taken deep inside the personal lives of husbands and wives to see firsthand what's gone terribly wrong in the real time, from tragic event to trial. Why the intense interest? She goes on to talk about that. One of her specialties is she is a New York-based psychotherapist in creating healthy relationships. And during my professional career, I have found human interactions one of the most interesting and challenging aspects of my practice. One of my goals is to help patients understand and support human connections and the contributions they make to a fulfilled and joyful life. She's been a career therapist, focusing primarily on the unifying aspects of relationships. She goes on to talk a little bit about this. So hold on, I want to talk about why they don't get married. They get married, they do all this stuff. So, it's that I can't find it in the book because I didn't prepare for that, but I'll come back with little pieces of this book and read them to you. But okay, so the reason that they don't consider divorce, because it's another failure for them, and these people don't fail, okay? These are people who are high-achieving people, who are goal-oriented, who want to do a lot of different things. A lot of times they are, they're braggadocious. They want to, there's a lot of things that they want to accomplish in life, and for whatever reason, they're not accomplishing the things that they want. Aw, thank you. I love pink, but purple is my favorite color. I love purple. Are there things we can see before marrying or dating them? Yes. And I talk about that with Lena Derhally and Robbie in several of the interviews that we have done with them. And there are things you can see. There are little tiny pieces of things, but these people are very, very good at masking masking. And they're very good at being all things to all people. They're like chameleons. Okay, so they change as they're needed to change, and they do what they want to do. Love bombing and masking. Let me talk to you about love bombing. Okay, I'm serious. I'm an advocate for awareness of on domestic violence and intimate partner violence, and I even have done papers in it in school talking about the effects that this has on the children. We've talked about a lot of this, they have traits, they have signatures. We're talking about Watson annihilator unalivers, family annihilators. And they have these types of traits, and they are usually narcissistic, very narcissistic. You can see Watts being narcissistic. I definitely think Longo is narcissistic. Gypsy's narcissistic. I'm going to school for forensic psychology. I'm in my last year. I've got like 3 classes left, I think. And then I don't know. I'm either going to go on for my law degree or my master's in psychology. I don't know. But, okay, so love bombing is this thing where, especially early on in a relationship, love bombing is huge. Okay. So love bombing is where they will give you why he did that. He did it because the pressure, and he didn't want to be married anymore, and he found a new love, and he felt that was the way out, and he didn't want to have to pay child support, and he didn't want to have to deal with a baby mama, and his new girl wanted to have children with him, and he wanted to have those children with her and not with his ex-wife. There's a lot. Okay, but let's get back to love bombing. So love bombing is a situation, usually a lot in the beginning of a relationship. They'll do it later on when they are trying to get out of something that they've done wrong. So they'll love bomb you, and what they'll do is they will love on you in every which way, just constant love. They might do nice, crazy things for you. They might bring you home flowers. They might do all these different things, and it makes you think, oh my God, they're such a caring person. Yes, families can participate in love bombing as well. They'll buy you flowers. They'll do all these different things. And it is all in an effort to keep you from seeing the true self, their true person. And then what happens is when you catch on, or you start to realize something is wrong, or something else happens, an argument ensues or any of those things, then it turns into a gaslighting situation where they try to make you feel like you're crazy. And they try to do all these different things to you, and they tell you that you're wrong. Oh, I'm not cheating on you. Why would you think that? Maybe you're cheating on me. It's called projection. And they turn it around on you. And gaslighting makes you feel like you are you are in the wrong, when really it's them that's in the wrong. They're creating this situation. They're making you react in this way by what they're doing, and they know exactly what they're doing, and they know exactly what reaction they're going to get out of you, and they make you feel like you're the bad person in the situation, and it turns it around on you, and they gaslight you. Okay, so you no longer trust your sense of reality. Exactly. And I'll tell you what, that happened to me within this Gypsy case, is that I no longer trust my opinions on it in many ways. I always have to go to my team and ask them, hey, am I on the right track here? Do I really have the right thing? Because I have been so traumatized by it, so gaslit, so love bombed. I mean, I went through all of that with these people. And it's something I went through with my own husband when he was struggling with all of his mental health issues. So it's something that's very dear to my heart. In fact, there's a child missing right now that I have been talking about. A man, my ex-friend, I don't know. I still care about her very deeply. She's just a troubled person who has been through hell with her husband, the system, Springfield, and her child is missing right now because of a situation like this. And that's what started me to decide to run a nonprofit in the first place. I was trying to help Amanda. I don't want to talk about Moo. Please don't put it in the chat at all. I was trying to talk with Amanda. She wanted to start one. So I started trying to help her start it. And she just wasn't equipped to make those decisions and actually get it done because she's still dealing with huge amounts of trauma from what she's been through with her husband and her children and all of the things that she's done. And so her child is missing currently. I'm going to pin it to the top so you guys can do it. But if you get any tips or anything on him, her son is missing. And We're talking about family annihilators, really. That's kind of what we're doing. We're talking about all of them. I do have a big heart, and people take advantage of it a lot. And then I strike out, and then they get mad at me for striking out and getting angry, or they don't do their jobs, and then they wonder why I'm mad. I don't know. Anyway, I do. I hope he comes home safely. I'm really concerned that his father has probably groomed him into being exactly what he is, because we believe there's cult activities involved with that. So it's really freaking crazy and scary. But that's what started me to do this in the first place. And that's what I started when I went back to school. That was one of the things I was going back to school for, is to be, be a better advocate on this. And then, through the process, I learned all about Nick. I started looking into that thing, and that's what I talk about. So I talk about two things, and two things only, when I'm in school. I talk about the Gypsy case because I'm trying to better understand it through, talking to professionals and other people about it. And then I talk about domestic abuse, because I really am, it's something that's on my heart. It's something that I feel we all should be talking about. I feel like it's something that we should be constantly discussing, and we need to have more conversations about it. I think that we need changes in the justice system to protect women and children better. I think that we need police officers to have more training on what they're looking at when they're in these types of situations. Because let's talk about what's her freaking Gabby Patillo. Okay, classic, very classic. The police came up. They're called in. They hear that she's been smacked, somebody called it in, and she's hysterical. And he has got her to this point of hysteria, okay? And now she's talking about, she sits there and she's boo-hooing and saying, sometimes I get too upset. No, bitch, no, baby, no, not you. No, he did that to you. He did that to you. And he got you so freaking crazy that now they've come out here, and instead of saying that they're going to take in the actual abuser, now they're threatening to take her in. And this happened to my friend Amanda as well, okay? So it's the police don't even know how to deal with these types of situations properly, because they're not trained. Yes, I blame the cops for not taking him away from her. I do too. But April, what I'm saying is I don't believe that they're trained properly to look at these situations, because it's not just about what's happening in that little moment, okay? You've got a hysterical woman over here and a cool as cucumber guy. Anytime that's happening, the person that is crazy is not the person that's the bad person in that situation, the person that's making all of that happen. It's not the crazy lady over here that's crying and screaming and all of that. Could that be me too in my situation? Yeah. Okay, it's not that. It's the cool as cucumber person over here. He's cool as a cucumber, and she's fucking panicking. Why? Because he knows that they're going to see that. They're going to come in. They're going to see her little crazy episode, and they're not going to do a damn thing. They're not going to help her. They're not going to take her away. They're not going to arrest him, and he knows it. And I think that they need a lot more training. Yes, right, April. The cops need a lot more training than they get on different situations. The same thing about, medical child abuse, just child abuse in general, but medical child abuse as well. They're trained for high-risk situations, not sensitive ones. Yeah, exactly. So, when they come in and they start asking questions, first of all, for the person that's in a tizzy, sort of like me the other night when I was talking about, so I thought somebody was stalking me in my home, and she's posting this, and I was trying to communicate to the police, and I just got so frustrated and upset. I finally just asked the police to leave, because I could not produce to them what I wanted to produce to them. I couldn't find the information I needed to give them. I was all hyper and upset. I was freaking out. I was crying. I was all these different things. And so eventually the cops I just told them to leave, because I couldn't get together what I needed to get together. And I was just frustrated, and they were making me just more and more upset. And so I was acting poorly. I screamed at the cops because I was like, you're not fucking helping me. And so, they ended up leaving, and I've filed my report differently, and everything. But this is what happens in these situations. The police come in, they don't even know what they're looking at. They don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to diffuse the situation properly. And this is where, we're failing. We're failing women and children in this situation. And this is one of the reasons why I started the Good Wives Network in the first place, was because I wanted a place for women to come and talk about all the different things that we should be talking about in a time when I think it's really hard to be a woman. I mean, it's really hard to be a human right now. But I feel like women are under a personal attack right now, and it's kind of fucking weird. Yeah, and he tried to blame it on her, and he beat her for 8 years. Exactly. That's exactly it. That's the whole thing, is these men, these types of men, they have tells. They have certain things that you could absolutely find and see, but the police are not trained to do so. The police are trained to come in, diffuse a situation, arrest a person or whatever it is, and roll out. They are not there to get into the meat and potatoes of what's really going on in your home. They're not there for all of that. They're there for just to figure out what happened in that exact moment, diffuse the situation, take somebody to jail, or diffuse it all the way. That's it. That's all they're trained to do. They're not trained to do any more than that. And that is one of the reasons why I do believe that social workers should be called out to domestic violence situations. They should be on hand, but they should absolutely not be the only people that are going out there. That's the most absurd fucking shit our government's ever tried to fucking put out there. If you think that's the way it should go, why don't you go watch the my friend Ann Brimner, who sued the court system and CPS, or sued the CPS system on behalf of the Powell family in the Susan Cox Powell family situation, where that was an absolute horrible situation for that social worker. She had no power in the situation. He should have never been going out to that family. She should have never been going out and seeing the family, seeing him have unsupervised visits or even supervised visits in the home at that point in time. And Josh Powell. Yep, I know Ann Brimner, and she won. I think she won $5 billion for the Powell family. And see, that's the thing. Again, nobody knew what they were seeing. Nobody knew what they were doing. It's so crazy, and it's. These situations are so high stress level for both the abuser and the abusee. And many times the abuser doesn't even know what they're doing. They're just doing what they know to do. And the abusee is performing in the role that they're performing in. I went through this with my husband. He didn't know what he was doing to me. He didn't. He knew it was wrong. He knew that grabbing me by the throat and throwing me on a bed was wrong, but he didn't know how to stop himself until he got medicated. Now we still have horrible fights. I'm hoping they will find Susan. In fact, I have all of the FOIA case files from that. And I've talked with the podcaster, I can't remember his name, that did the whole podcast on them, Gone Cold. I've talked with him before, and I really do believe that there is an answer to finding her. But again, back to these types of people, the signs are there. And a lot of times these people need help. They need mental health help. They need medication. They need whatever. That's what my husband needed, and he still has his outbursts and things. And so do I, because I have, how do you file a FOIA? Nursing home chick. There is a website, and I don't remember what it is. Oh, definitely Johnny Depp. I want to talk about that. Amber Heard. Whoo, I want to talk about that at some point. But anyway, you can go onto this. There's a website. Just type in how to do a FOIA request, and there's one that goes state by state, piece by piece, and it gives you the exact letter that you can send in, because each state has different parameters, requirements, all of that. So there is a really good. There is a really good site for that. Impact of DEA in children is often dismissed if they do not directly witness. Yes. And I'm telling you, I will read an article on that from my school, from where I researched in my school on this, and I will read that to you guys one day about this. And I think I'll probably post some of my papers that I've written up on our website, The Good Wives Guide to True Crime, or thegoodwivesnetwork.com. Because I've written a lot about these subjects, and I've discussed this a lot in discussion groups and all of these things, and so these types of men, and you're saying, and then they become troubled adults. Well, yes, okay, these types of guys, these types of people, they have, a lot of times they are the family favorites. A lot of times they are put on a pedestal by their family. Such as Scott Peterson. A lot of times Watts too, his family thought he could do no wrong. He was just the perfect kid, all of that shit, right? And they grow up thinking that they are that. They think that they're the best. They think that they can do no wrong. They think that they can, It depends on different states, honey, how long you have to press charges for abuse and what kind of abuse it is, and it festers as teens and children, and then it comes out as stress and things compound and pile up in their yeah, I'll do Johnny, promise you. I love Johnny very much. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a little weird, but I've always adored him, and I cannot stand her. I didn't like her before him, so I think she's just a wannabe. She's not very talented. I'm sorry, she's just not. And so when the pressures in their life start to mount up and they are no longer perfect, they don't know how to deal with that. And instead of doing the things that normal people do, which mean, get a divorce or walk out or get some therapy or get some medication, no, they don't do that. They go into a fight or flight mode and they do what they're doing, and what do you call it when a significant other avoids conflict to avoid fights? God, what is that called? I'm not sure. Does somebody else know? The Diane Schuler case. I think I've looked at that one before. But I mean, does that make sense as to what these types of things are? And I'm so sorry for anybody who has escaped this. I hope that you are safe. Avoidant attachment. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you so very much. The avoidant attachment style is part in that situation. Yes. And you see him do that. You can see Watts do that many times. You can see, I know Longo did, and it's a very interesting situation. So if anybody wants to talk about family annihilators or anything we've talked about today, you can hit the box. I will let you up for right now, as long as we keep it respectful, one question, and we try to have a conversation about this in a very succinct way. If I cut you off, it's for time, not for, not to be rude. So, did Watts get attacked the other day? I don't know. I don't follow him anymore, but maybe I'll have to look. See, I don't do a whole lot of following anymore on these cases because I got so wrapped up in what I was doing. And then we were building the company and I wasn't looking at true crime until we started, we were going to have the network up and running, and then we were going to go back into true crime. But anyway, I'm going to see. Does anybody want to get in the box? Anyone? You're allowed. Stephen Avery case. I need to relook at that now that Candace Owens has come out with that documentary. In fact, I even signed up to get Daily Wire, I think, just so I could watch that. I'm interested in that because I think that while I think that Stephen might have actually done something, I'm not sure that Brendan did anything. You don't have to be on camera. You can come up without having you can come up without being on camera, baby. It's okay. So anyway, guys, you normally hit the box right away. April, will you come up and talk with me for a minute? I'm going to invite you up because I don't like just rambling on myself. So avoidant ants basically don't want to be emotional. Yes. Summer Wells, I'm going to do some research on it because I did before a long time ago when it first was breaking, I think. So I would love for you guys, let me get some more information about Summer Wells and I'll come back to it. Hey, April, how are you?
I'm good.
So what do you think about what we've talked about today?
I hadn't been on here long.
We were talking about on family annihilators and those kind of cases. So have you looked into those before? Do you follow those types of cases?
I do, but I mean that's some that I'm really going to have to go back on because I mean to be honest with you, since I found out Gypsy was getting out, that's mainly what I've been
That's all
focusing
I've been
on.
focusing on too. But we talked a little bit about Watts today. We talked about Peterson. We talked about Longo. I mean, it's a type of, I mean, and in reference to Gypsy, even it's still very similar in their ideologies and their thought processes and their behaviors.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm been trying to go back to the Mendez brothers case because I really would like to see them out. I
I would
don't
too.
think that they would ever reoffend. I think they would be great in society.
Yeah,
I think they would advocate for what they went through.
I do too.
you
And it's very
know.
clear to me that they were abused. It's very,
Oh,
very clear.
yes.
I've watched their body language. I've watched how they, and there are times that I caught them lying on the stand. I definitely felt that there was sometimes they were not truthful. But when they were talking about the essay from their parents, they were very truthful. Those
Oh,
were real
yes.
emotions. Those weren't fucking crocodile tears.
Yes.
And these are two boys, two men who in a moment did something that they thought was the right thing because they felt like they were never going to escape their parents, regardless of the fact that they had left. But it's in a family like that, the dynamics in a family like that are so complicated, just like in Gypsy's story, complicated. Hey Kathy, did you have a question real quick, baby?
Hi, Nick. Um, I was wondering, if you could, I've been through two murder cases in, within my family, right?
Baby,
Can you understand?
I'm having a
Huh?
hard time understanding you, love. Would you be able to write me your questions and then I'll I'll
Yes,
I'll talk about them? Okay. I'm
okay.
sorry, baby. I'm having a hard time with your speech. I know you've got something going on, and then the
Yes,
reverb. I
ma'am.
can't I can't hear you, baby. Well, okay. Thank you though. Write them in the chat and we'll talk about them real quick. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you, sweetheart. Shonda, I'm going to go ahead and bring you up. April, if you don't want to be up, you don't have to be, baby. I just wanted you up here because you have good insight on things.
Okay, well, I'll step down.
Okay, sweetheart. Hey, Shonda, how are
Hey,
you?
beautiful. How
And
are
April, I
you?
love what you were thinking about, looking at the different cases. Go back and look at them. Let's have conversations about them. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, sweetheart.
Hey,
All right.
beautiful. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm a mother with an adult son on the spectrum.
Okay.
So I really can relate to what's going on. That would be my biggest fear. And it almost happened, but it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And so my son does not do social media at all anymore.
Right.
But what I wanted to ask you is, are you going to do Shonda Vander Ark? Because what she did to Timothy is appalling to me, and it just makes me so upset.
I don't know that case real well. I've heard of it. Can you give me a little information on it? Because I think I know which one you're talking about, but I look at so many different cases. If I'm correct, it's similar to probably like Conrad Roy and Michelle Carter in that sense, kind of, yeah?
Yes.
Or am
Yes,
I
kind
off
of.
track? Okay, so tell me a little bit about this case because I know a lot about Conrad Roy and Michelle Carter, and I feel like that's kind of similar to what Gypsy did to Nicholas to get him to do something. So tell me about this case a little bit.
Well, she's an attorney, and she didn't have custody of Timothy, but
Mm-hmm.
ended up with him,
Mm-hmm.
and she denied food and
Okay.
water.
Okay, I know what you're talking
You
about then.
see where
Yeah.
I'm going with it?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I will definitely look into that case. I'll tell you, I have a hard time looking at the child abuse cases. They're really hard for
I
me.
know. I
Like
know.
Gabriel Fernandez broke my heart. Like I just I wanted to just I crawled in a ball and cried for hours after watching that. And I'm a person who didn't cry before getting into all this crap. But yeah, that's terrible. I'm so sorry, but I will look into that case for sure. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you
Okay.
so very much, Fancy. I love
No
you.
problem. Thank you. I love you too. Thank you so much. I love all my viewers. I appreciate all the freaking love and support you guys give us. When I talked about, I was thinking that case was a little different, but the case that I was talking about with Conrad Roy and Michelle Carter is where Michelle Carter wrote him constantly to convince him to go ahead and take his life. And it's very similar to what Gypsy did to Nicholas in how the manipulation tactics, the constant messaging, the constant of the you've got to do this, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. And I didn't know that that child was on the spectrum either. Hi, Maureen, how are you? Okay. And I did see Conrad's text as well. I saw all of them. I have the whole thing. I have all of it. And he, the Conrad Roy case, man. I agree. She manipulated him and she did admit to it, but that girl needed help too. She wasn't straight in the head. She's still not straight in the head. And that's the thing. Yeah, I cried. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, if nobody else wants to hit the box, then I think I've rambled on enough for rising crime this morning. If there are cases that you would like me to look into that we can talk about quickly, please email those to us. If there's cases that I think Casey Anthony did it, absolutely, absolutely. If there are cases that you want us to take a deeper dive into, please send those as well. You have to have 200 followers, I believe, to hit the box. We didn't do Summer Wells. I started to, and then I kind of got off track. You haven't rambled. I definitely want to do the Summer Wells case, but I want to look at it because it's been a long time since I've looked at that case. There's a lot of cases that I need to come back to. There's a lot of cases that we wanted to cover and we never got to cover because we were so fucking involved in this Gypsy case. And, it's hard. The Selena case, I know that. I want to talk about Andrea Yates's case. That's an interesting case for me. I want to talk about Susan Cox Powell case and her children. Yeah, I'll probably be live tonight, and I'm sure we'll talk about, Dee Blanchard case. John Wayne Gacy movie. Is it my friend John Borowski's? Because John is the expert. My friend John is an expert on Gacy, and his documentary is coming out soon, but I don't know. I haven't seen the one on Gacy. I never really followed that case a whole lot. He wasn't one of the ones that I followed. I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of funny about things if they're male victims. I don't know. It doesn't seem to resonate with me as much unless they're children. I don't know why. It's not that I'm like discriminatory about it. I do talk about those types of cases, but what really gets me are cases like, oh God, Deei. Whoo, I could talk about her for a long ass time. Deei and that situation, those are these unaliver couples. We talked about, Bernardo and Homolka, Ken and Barbie killers, unalivers, and it's so crazy. By the way, guys, do you know I got a ban today for literally saying yuck? I got a violation strike on a fucking thing because I said yuck. I also got one the other day for putting a barf emoji, which if we have barf emojis, why are we not allowed to use barf emojis? Like, seriously, I think I love TikTok. I love my community here at TikTok, but let's be honest, TikTok's fucking stupid. We can't even say real words. This is dumb. We're adults here. This is supposed to be an adult platform. This social media is not for children. So I don't know why we aren't allowed to say fucking normal words and, use the barf emoji when you have a barf emoji, but whatever. So stupid. Like literally so stupid. I wrote yuck on something and I got a strike. Like, are we serious? So, so if this account does go down, there will be another one, I promise you, and you'll have to come find me. I'm already working on a backup account for myself. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And these annihilators, these family annihilators, these cases are complicated too, just like Gypsy's. I know, but people can bash me all day. I know. I wonder why they have their accounts up still. Because all they do is bully and harass and bash people. One of them came to me today to apologize for her behavior. And she wanted to clear the air. And I'm pretty much done with all that. You want to apologize for your behavior? Great. Apologize for your behavior. Change your behavior. We don't have to have a long ass fucking conversation about it, and I don't have to allow you to be my friend. No, it was not Kate. I don't even want to talk about Kate. That's just a sad situation all the way around, and those people are using her. And it's really sad because she's allowing them to be manipulated. Oh, Maddie McCann. I love talking about that case. That's on our YouTube. We've talked about that before. Have you seen the deep dive on You Fancy on YouTube? No, and I don't care. Because it's all fucking lies and mistruths. So I don't fucking care. I don't care what people talk about me anymore. I just don't. I really don't. I'm going to say all of them with lawsuits. Yeah, we covered the Mug and Boswell case when it was fucking breaking. Oh my God. Okay, so that year, I got to talk about that for a minute. That year, holy crap. And I don't remember if it was pandemic yet or almost pandemic, but that year we got Evelyn Boswell, Lori Daybell, Leticia Stauch, Lisa Snyder, all at one time. There were these 4 fucking cases all at one time. It was crazy because we were trying to report on all of them. I think they were all during that, and yeah, guys, please, you know what, April, I appreciate you saying that, love. Can we just not talk about these things? Can we just not? I don't want, this is my space, and I don't want to hear about what other people say about me other places, because it's just lies. It's just lies. And if you want to go listen to that and you want to watch those things, please do. But don't come here and tell me about it, because I don't care. I just don't. I'm going to hit all of them with the legal things that I'm working on, and that's it. The Ohio college murders I haven't gotten into yet. And the Idaho college murders I haven't gotten into yet. I haven't gotten into those yet either, because I've just been so freaking busy. Last year I was in the hospital 19 times. I don't know if anybody knew that, but So anyway, Ruby something and her friend abusing the kids. No. So the Megan Boswell case, I don't know, really, guys. Okay, but the Megan Boswell case, in fact, that's why I blocked some of you on Facebook. I started blocking people on Facebook, not because I don't like you, not because I don't want to talk to you, but because you guys wouldn't stop sending me shit that I asked you not to send. And then you send it to me and it upsets me. If you want to send those things, please do. Send them to my team. They've told you where to send them. Okay, you can do that. You can send them to Ryan. You can send them to Tips for Good Wives. And that's all I want to do with that. I don't want to hear about it anymore. Don't bring it in here. Don't ask those questions. Okay, but let's get back to Megan Boswell for a minute, because oh my God. Oh, I've covered Judy Hildebrandt before. But Megan Boswell. So Megan Boswell is a member of what we believe the Gypsy community, which is really interesting. And her baby goes missing, and her baby goes missing. She goes all over oh, my poor baby. Oh my God, I want it. And at one point in time, it was alleged that her mother had the baby, had stolen the baby. There was a whole boyfriend situation that went on. There was all kinds of crazy shit that went on with that. And eventually the baby was found, her little girl was found. Travelers. Yes, travelers. The baby was found in her father's shed on his property, I believe, in her car seat. So I don't know what happened. I don't know how the baby was unalived. I don't remember, because I stopped looking into it because I just got out of true crime for a while. I was just building the network. And so I need a refresher on these cases. Like, I stopped following the Daybell case a long time ago too, even though I was very heavily involved in that. I stopped following the Delphi case because I started getting involved in other things, and they get sentenced in 8 days. I definitely think Megan unalived her baby. Yes, I just don't remember what happened to the baby or how she was unalived. So I don't know. But I also stopped looking, we've got the Crystal Rogers case. There's so many cases I want to talk with you about. And I think that's what Rising Crime is going to be, is my morning show where I just come and I just pick a different case and we just talk about different cases. Delphi, there's some weird stuff too. I really am very close to that case. I interviewed the sister. It's out on our podcast, I believe, or on our YouTube. I don't remember which one. But yeah, and then we've got the Crystal Rogers case, which I intended to fully cover all the way. I was going to go cover the trial and everything, and then my fucking car broke down, so now I can't even go to the trial, and it's only like 20 minutes away from me, So these are my morning chat talks. We talk about all kinds of different cases. Today we talked about Family Annihilators. We talked about a couple other cases, but really the YouTube channel, on all social medias, we are under the Good Wives Net. Okay, if you just go look for the Good Wives Network on any fucking social media site, we are there. Okay. And my YouTube channel is a little scattered and crazy right now. I'm trying to make playlists so you guys can go in and find specific things and stuff. But if you just start clicking, just click. We have 7 years of content, guys. We came to YouTube, I think 3 years in to the Gypsy case. So there's about 4 years of content on there, but you can listen to all of that. You can join our Facebook group where we talk about these things on the Good Wives Network page. Rising Crime, whenever I fucking get up. I'll be honest. Whenever I get up, put some fucking coffee, I'm actually drinking Coke. I don't drink coffee very often, even though we sell coffee and we have coffee mugs. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I drink Coke out of my coffee cups. Whenever I decide to get up, put on some fucking clothes, put my hair up in a little bow, it's little thingy, and talk about it. I'm sorry, I don't go live on a schedule anymore because my life is so fucking chaotic. I can't. That's why that's why we're writing, my daughter and I wrote a freaking mini series called My Life is So Drama, because that's all my life has ever been, is a bunch of fucking drama. Seriously. It's life is tragedy, but whatever. I would go to law school because you could help so many. I think I am. I honestly, I really do think I will get a law degree eventually. I really still want to finish my master's degree in in psychology, because I think I could write a really great dissertation about this case, about the Gypsy case, because I've talked with my professors a lot about it. If I were going to do anything, I would be a prosecutor. I would never be for the defense. I can't do that. I can't represent people that I know did bad things. I just couldn't. And it's one of the reasons why I didn't become a lawyer, was because of that, because I didn't want to get into a situation where I had to do something that I wasn't ethically comfortable with. So even if I get my law degree, I don't know if I'll practice or not. I might just have it so that I have knowledge so I can report on these cases better. That's my intention. I mean, I'm almost 50. So becoming a prosecutor at 50. However, I do hear Springfield needs a new one, because the one they got, in my opinion, allegedly, and for entertainment and educational purposes only, is corrupt as fuck. And that's why I have to have bodyguards when I go to fucking Springfield, because I've called out an entire corrupt system. Yeah. I know I don't look almost 50. I just turned 49 a couple days ago on the 21st. I've never looked my age. I've always looked much younger. So, yep. I think it's definitely corruption. I think there's corruption everywhere, to be honest with you, but I just happen to do it. You know what, guys? What's really funny? Get this. So, they talk about me, and my partners like to talk about all kinds of things that happened that fell apart. Well, you know what I can tell you? Those partners were all parts of the things that fell apart, because those partners didn't do things to help it not fall apart. But we had a freaking this thing called Sins that we wrote, and I'm very proud of it. And I still have Henry Cerny, Nathan Parsons, Joshua Jackson, he's from Twilight, I can't remember his name. All of them are still signed on for contracts that I'm on the hook for, because I knew we were going to make this thing, and then we ended up with fraudulent money, and it was really fucking pissed everybody off. Okay. But guess what I was going to do? There's a character. She's a main character. Her name's Sabine. And I was going to play her. And she was a DA. And she was actually prosecuting and trying to put the man who she believes unalived her sister behind bars. And it's not him. It's not him. But yeah, so I was going to play a prosecutor in that. And I probably still will, because we're going to definitely make sense. I just need funding for it. For Star Wars, just a fun fact. You know where I got it from? I love the name Sabine. I've always loved the name Sabine. Do you know where I got it from? The original Three Musketeers that Kiefer Sutherland and them was in. There's a character in there named Sabine, and I loved it, and I named my character after her. I love it. I loved it. So anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here for a while. I got some research to do. I do remember when she raised money to go to Springfield. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'm going to talk about her. I've been talking about her with Hello Starlight over on YouTube, and she does a lot of kind of calling out the scammers and things. I did an interview with her the other day talking about Nasty. See, I don't talk about Moo. Yes, I will definitely be on tonight. I don't talk about Moo because I don't want to talk about Moo, because I think Moo is ridiculous. And I think that her scams and all her shit is nasty. And I've tried to warn people about her for years and years, all the way back to the fake brain surgery that lady had. Yeah, she's my stalker. She's the first stalker that the Blanchards put on me. Have proof, posted it already. Anyway, she just now came to TikTok. Why did she come to TikTok? Why? Because I'm here. Because she followed me to YouTube too. But anyway, yes, she had a fake brain surgery. That she was raising money for. Yes, she was. She looks like she's gone through it recently. I'm sure she probably has. She's a disgusting human being. That's all I got to say about that. Consider your sources, folks. The people who talk about me for reasons, but they're not the reasons that they say they are. Well, I'm rude too, so it's okay. That's not an issue. She's hell of a lot ruder than I am. People talk about how rude I am to my fucking subs, dude. She's a fucking mean beast. That woman is a beast. Murdoch. Ooh, I want to talk about Murdoch. We've been researching Murdoch, me and Morgan from Beauty and the Beast, and Beauty and the Beast is one of our shows that we're working on. We're also working on Lipstick, Lashes, and Lies. communication. I don't think that she's in communication with either. And if she is, well, whatever. Fucking whatever. I don't know why any of them entertain that dumb fucking foul person. But anyway, Murdoch case. Let me tell you. I got lots of questions about the Murdoch case. Let me tell you. Lots of questions about the Murdoch case. I've been in all the groups lately about that too. And I think, karma definitely happens eventually. They're all going to get karma when they get my lawyer's shit. Yes, they are. Murdoch. So I personally look at Bundy. Dude, I've already looked at that a million times. I fucking interviewed Kathy Kleiner Rubin. It's yeah. Murdoch. Let me give my final thoughts on that, and then I'm truly got to get off here, guys. I love y'all. I love talking to you, but Murdoch. They only have one piece of evidence to prove that Murdoch was even there. Nothing else. No other circumstance. It's the most circumstantial case I've ever seen. And most cases are circumstantial. Almost all evidence is circumstantial except for DNA evidence. That's it. But I'm not sure that Murdoch killed his family or unalived his wife and child. I think he could have hired somebody to do so. I think that there's a lot of questions about it, but because there is a Snapchat that puts him there 3 minutes before the unaliving, does not a schmurderer make. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. Are you okay, baby? Sorry, my baby has COPD from COVID, and so he has breathing problems. It's really hard. So, a video 3 minutes before does not make him a schmurderer. Oh, hey, I just got, I've attached an order entered today in Nelson Circuit Court. Ooh, that's on Crystal Rogers. Let me go. Let's see. Hold on. Since I just got it, let's see what the update on Crystal Rogers is real quick before I leave. Because I've been following this case for a long time and it's super close to us. It's in our hometown area. So let me get over here and see what I just got from the Nelson County Court. Let's see. Where did it go? Nelson County. Yeah, here it is. I've attached an order today. Oh, look at the Hotel Cecil that I was reporting on before. It's looking back at my memories. It's so fun when OneDrive reminds me of my memories. All right, let's see. Nelson Court. This is Commonwealth of Kentucky versus Joseph Lawson. So this is the co-conspirator in the Crystal Rogers case. Thank you guys. I appreciate it so much. Okay, so let's see what happened. This is an order. It says on June 21st, 2023, the defendant Joseph L. Lawson, hereinafter Lawson, was indicted for complicity. We finally figured out what he's done. For complicity to tampering with physical evidence. See Commonwealth versus Joseph L. Lawson, Nelson Circuit Court, indictment number, blah, blah, blah. His bond was fixed at $50,000 unsecured on the condition of continued. He's going to turn state's evidence. Continued cooperation with the Commonwealth. The Houck family is not going to be happy today. Okay. On July 24, 2023, the Nelson County Grand Jury returned the indictment herein which charged Lawson with criminal conspiracy to commit murder. And I just lost my last chicken. Where'd it go? Damn it. Come here, chickie. My chicken. Ugh. Sorry, guys, you probably just saw my ass. Okay, let's read this. I love this. This is what I get excited about. This, true crime, this shit. Yes, I get passionate and powerful about this shit. It's not about Gypsy. The reason I get all fucking crazy about Gypsy is because I'm triggered by Gypsy. You notice when I talk about Nick or Deei or anything else in the case, I don't get all crazy. It's because I'm triggered by fucking Gypsy and her fucking family because they fucking traumatized me and tortured me for 7 fucking years. Let's get back to this though. All right. Okay. On July 24, 2023, the Nelson County Grand Jury returned the indictment herein, which charged, charged Lawson with criminal conspiracy to commit murder. His bond was fixed at $500,000, cash only. It is the court's understanding that these two cases are related to the disappearance and presumed death of Crystal Rogers, hereinafter Rogers. Okay? Now, Crystal's daddy got unalived because of all this shit too. Okay, just so you know. So, how many pages is this? 3 pages, guys, so we can get through this. Okay. On February 8th, 2024, the parties came before the court for a hearing on Lawson's motion to reduce bond. However, neither party called any witnesses. After considering the arguments from counsel, the court took this matter under submission. The court is now prepared to address and adjudicate this pending issue. Now, this pending issue. When fixing bond, this court must comply with RCR 4.16. The criminal rule specifically contains the following language. The amount of bail shall be sufficient to ensure compliance with the conditions of release set by the court. It shall not be oppressive and shall be commensurate with the gravity of the offenses charged. In determining such amount, the court shall consider the defendant's past criminal acts, if any, the defendant reasonably anticipated conduct if released, and the defendant's financial ability to give bail. See also Abrams versus Commonwealth. In this case, the defense contends that Lawson, a paraplegic, is not capable of fleeing because he can't get in a fucking wheelchair and flee somewhere because paraplegics don't travel. Okay, let's keep going. His counsel has requested a bond of $50,000 unsecured, with Lawson being placed on home incarceration while attending an inpatient treatment facility. Although the court is sympathetic to Lawson's paraplegic status, it believes a bond of $250,000 is reasonable to assure his appearance. In making this determination, this court has considered the gravity of the consequences to commit murder charge, while recognizing that Lawson's pretrial assessment indicates that he is a moderate risk of flight and a moderate risk to reoffend. In addition, Lawson, age 34, is facing a potential punishment of up to 25 years in prison if convicted of both conspiracy to commit murder and complicity to commit tampering while physical evidence. Meanwhile, Gypsy did 8 years, for conspiracy, because they don't have it in her state. Did she research that? Oh, she did. She did. Anyway, let's go back to this. All right. Finally, if Lawson is convicted of conspiracy to commit murder, he would have to serve 85% of his sentence before being eligible for parole. That's why Gypsy was able to get out in her parole. The court has also considered Lawson's criminal history, which includes at least 2 felony convictions. He is presently serving a 1-year sentence at the Kentucky State Reformatory for first-degree criminal mischief. See Commonwealth versus Joseph L. Lawson. He sounds like a good dude. And Washington Circuit Court indictment number whatever. He was also previously convicted of first-degree possession of what? Methamphetamines. Yeah, I love when drugs get involved. See Commonwealth versus Joseph Lawson, Nelson Circuit Court. Finally, the court assumes that Lawson is unable to post any cash or property herein as grounds the defense failed to provide any information about Lawson's ability to post same, and the Commonwealth never made any argument about Lawson having access to large financial resources to assist him with an attempted flight. Now, therefore, the premises considered, it is hereby ordered and as adjudged as follows: that the defendant's motion to reduce bail is hereby granted, that the defendant's bond shall be reduced to $250,000 cash only with the following conditions: a dusk to dawn curfew, except for employment and medical emergencies; B, no violations of the law; C, remain drug and alcohol free; D, no contact with the family of Crystal Rogers, either directly or indirectly; C, no contact with any co-defendants; and E, no contact with any co-defendants; F, no travel outside of this state; and G, be monitored by pretrial services. That is the order. That this order is final and appealable with no just for delay. And then the judge signed it. So, this is on the Crystal Rogers case. This is the co-conspirator. He has been charged with both conspiracy to commit murder and actual committing of murder. Oh, I'm sorry. Committing murder, and tampering with evidence. That's what he's been charged with, both. And he could face up to 25 years in prison for his involvement in the unaliving of Crystal Rogers. Now, if you haven't heard me talk about Crystal Rogers and you want a little bit of information, let me give you that so we can finish up here. And then I'm going to go see what my husband says. It's really kind of fucking crazy because he just sent me some fucking stuff on things, and he likes to send me all kinds of crazy, weird things. Okay, so Crystal Rogers, hometown girl, Bardstown. She's got, I don't know if she's got I think she has a couple of kids. And one of them happens to be with this guy named Brooks Houck. Now, Brooks Houck is a huge name in Bardstown. Okay, he basically runs the show there, and his brother was a officer. His brother was fired for tampering with evidence in this case of the unaliving of his wife. I can't remember if they were married or if they were common law married, but they were together, and they had a little boy, I believe. And the little boy has never seen his grandmother since all of this happened, because the Houck family won't even let them have time with him, which I think is just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And so basically there is a couple of other murders in Bardstown that people believe might be tied to this. So Brooks is married to Crystal, or with Crystal. They have a kid. Crystal's car is found on the side of a highway with no, nothing in it, no her, no nothing, and she's just been missing. They've never found her body, I don't believe. They were digging for a body this last couple of years, and I was down there actually reporting on it. There was also another murder of an officer, and that's actually one of the first videos I put on TikTok. That was the first video I ever came to TikTok and put up here, because I was going to try to use TikTok to help promote our stuff. And Crystal has 5 children, only one with Brooks. Thank you, green-eyed girl. I don't know. Like I said, I do so many of these that I get different things messed up. So yeah, she had 5 children, one with Brooks, and then his brother, who has not, I don't know if he's been arrested yet. I have to go back. I've been getting all the documents from the case, but I haven't been covering them, and I'm going to do so. But his brother was let go because of this. And then there's an officer that was unalived that they think is tied to this, that they think he was either getting close to corruption or he was getting close to exposing the Houck family. And there's a lot about the Houck family. Listen, grandma's even fucking involved. It's very similar to what I would say, the Ohio family. And I'm drawing a blank right now, but there's an Ohio family that did the same thing over a custody battle. And that case is really crazy, and we've covered that before a lot. I can't think of the name of it. Piketon. Yes, the Pike family. Yes. It's very similar to this. Okay, that's that kind of family. Hasn't been arrested yet. I think he may be the one talking to KSP. I do too. I think he's going to turn on his brother, because I don't think they have any allegiance in that family. They're going to turn on each other, because you have allegiance in a family like that, in a crime family, until it's your neck on the line. And then what happens? Yeah. He's going to send his old brother up the river. He's going to try and save himself. So anyway, that's the Crystal Rogers case. A couple years after that, I believe, her father, Tommy Ballard, was pew-pewed while he was on a hunting trip with his grandson. That was really nice of them to do that. Unalive him while he's in front of his grandson. So his grandson has to carry that for the rest of his life. That's real nice. That's what I deal with in true crime, guys. This is the cases I cover. This is how I feel. I work in an industry that's very dark and very sad and very messy. And sometimes I get a little dark and a little sad and a little messy when I'm talking about some of these cases, especially Gypsy, but other cases too, because God, I look huge today. This fucking thing makes me look huge, and I'm not huge. I am not huge anymore. I used to be huge. I'm not huge anymore. But it's really sad, this case, that grandmother has been affected. She lost her child. She lost her grandchild in all of this too, because they've kept him from her. And now she's lost her husband because they believe that her husband was getting too close to figuring it out, and hey, Jennifer, if you'd like to join the team as a criminal law paralegal, I'd love to have you on the team. I'm looking for teammates that have skills, guys, not people that just like you like this. If you're people that just like true crime and you want to help out, there's lots of ways you can do that. But if you are a member of the community and you do certain things and you want to get help, and you want to help us, we would love your help. Like, there's been some lawyers that have contacted us. There's been a therapist who's contacted us now. Dr. Steele has contacted us and working with Colleen on the case file or the medical files, even though at this point I think that they're totally irrelevant. The only thing I think we're going to find out from the medical records at this point, one is did Dr. Beckerman commit medical fraud? Did he perpetuate this? Was he part of the medical fraud scheme? And then I've been using them as ways to discredit some of her actual stories, such as we used it to, we used it to debunk her dog leash chained to the bed, chained to Deei story. Like, come on now. Okay. But we also used it in, I really broke it down as to why I think 2015 happened. Okay. And why June 9th of 2015, a murder went down in that case. And that's what the medical files are for helping me with that, because I spent 7 years looking at those fucking things, running myself in freaking circles with it. And I realized just the other day that they're just trash. I could throw them in the garbage. I could never show them to anybody because they don't even fucking matter, because the case is not about abuse. This is not an abuse case. We can sit and talk about whether Gypsy Rose was abused or not all fucking day long, and I guarantee you it's going to get inflamed and everybody's going to get heated and we're going to get nowhere. But the murder of Deei Blanchard has zero, in my opinion, allegedly for entertainment and educational purposes, as the leading expert on the fucking case, it has zero to do with abuse. Zero. It has to do with a woman who didn't like what her mama told her she was having to do, and it wasn't conning in medical anymore. She was running the streets. She was with a fucking 35-year-old man at 19. He was a drug runner, a domestic abuser, and Deei didn't like that. And they fought about it every day. Just listen to her talk about it in her interrogation video. And when her mom told her that she had to get out, she's going to kick her out if she continues to do the things that she's doing, which I believe the shed was a set that she was setting up. A married man at that with children. Yep, exactly. I believe that Deei and her were fighting every day. And I do believe that Deei knew about both men, Nick and Dan, and all the other men too. I'm sure she did call her a slut and smack her in the fucking face. I know my mama would have. But that's not abuse. That's not abuse. Do I think it's right to smack your child in the face? Absolutely not. But I'm sorry. Mamas get angry and mamas call you sluts and smack you in the face when you're being a slut. And maybe it's wrong in the moment, but let's be honest. It's no reason to fucking unalive a person. Okay? And she did not unalive her mother because of abuse. She unalived her mama because she didn't like what her mama wanted her to do. She didn't want to go to Florida where Dr. B happened to end up. And she didn't want to go and continue the medical fraud because it was all just medical fraud. She didn't want to do it anymore. She was done with that con. She was running her own cons all over town, all day long. Mama knew about it. Mama told her, go to Wisconsin. Be happy. She did that out of love. Those are Gypsy's words. Not mine. But she also called him an unaliver who likes unaliving people, a Jeffrey Dahmer type of person. Do you really think that that's the same person? Do you really think that we're talking about Nicholas when she says that? I don't. I don't at all. Not even a little bit. It's not about abuse. It's not even necessarily about a controlling mother. I mean, it kind of is, but basically, Gypsy wanted to do what Gypsy wanted to do. Mama wouldn't let her do what she wanted to do. She found a guy to unalive her mother. That's the end of the story, folks. That's it. That's the whole fucking kit and caboodle. Mama didn't want her to do certain things. She didn't like what Mama told her to do. And she unalived her mama. I think she knew that the fraud case was going to come at her. I think that she was going to run away with Dan. I do believe that he had talked to Deei. He says so, yes. And he realized that Deei was a good mom in his opinion. I did not say that her... Alley Cat, don't put words in my mouth. I did not say that her mother did not abuse her. I don't think she did. But that's my thought process on it based on the facts and evidence that I have. You can have any thought process about it. What I said, please get it correctly. This unaliving case of Deei Blanchard has absolutely zero things to do with abuse. That's what I said. Get it straight. She wasn't still shaving her head. You want to talk about shaving your head? You know, Ryan brought this up the other day. Could it be that she was shaving her head because it's easier to wear the wigs that she was wearing while she was doing her cam work and her running around town and everything? Deei wasn't shaving her head anymore. Gypsy was shaving her own head. And in 2011, all of the medical anything stopped. And I have proof of it. And I have dates. In 2009, everybody in that community knew that that Gypsy could walk, that it was a con, that it was all over. 2009, folks, the entire community knew. Whether they want to tell you that they knew or not, they all fucking knew. And I can prove that. In 2011, when they were in Kansas City with Dr. Beckerman, they got caught again by the hospital. Oh, I think she was. She got caught again by the hospital. They again wanted a legal through a court system. This is why 2009 they moved to St. Louis from Springfield care with Dr. B. Okay, so Dr. B's over here, then he's over here, then he's over here, then he's over here. Yeah, that keeps happening. Okay, listen. In 2009, Deei, one, Dr. Steele had called the authorities, so the authorities already knew. Two, the hospital was asking for guardianship papers, not POV, not just a regular through a court. She never gave it to him. Then they fucking went so then they went from Springfield to Kansas City, started over in Kansas City with Dr. B again, him sending letters out to all the different doctors and all that stuff. The hospital again asks for guardianship papers, and she can't provide them because she knows she can't provide them. So in 2011, all medical anything stops. The next paper we have, there's a couple little things that she was getting, dental things and things like that, things she actually needed, okay? Things she actually needed, regular just checkups, normal things, okay? Dentist, all that shit. But in 2014, there was one more letter from Dr. Beckerman to a new freaking provider that they never went and saw. And it's completely crazy. And I read it the other day, it's posted, okay? And then that was it. In 2015, she had her feeding tube changed out the day before the murder. That's where she told Nicholas that she lost her baby that she was carrying with him, and it was a baby girl, and that he should go ahead and unalive her mother. Because that's why. Because telling him that it was cancer and it was a mercy killing didn't work for several years. Then she changed up and kept going. That's why she kept going with that. But anyway. So we've proven with the medical files, that's how the medical files are important. I spent years and years looking at these fucking medical files. Okay? And they really clouded my judgment. But now I can use them in the way that I should use them. And I believe he's in Arkansas. I should use them, and that's improving the timeline, the storylines, the lies, all the different things. Hello, Starlight. I still want to come back and talk more about Cooper if you want me to. Do you think Gypsy, she's always known her real age. Always. They've all known. They all knew. I can't begin to explain to you anymore. They all knew. All. How about that? They all knew. Including Christy and Ron, who I do believe was much more involved than I even thought. Clarity sounds wonderful, doesn't it? Yeah, clarity sounds wonderful. And I've cut my silence on what happened to me for way too fucking long. I tried to find Dan back in the day. Nobody found Dan until Dan came out in the appeal. Dan came out in the appeal. We'd all looked for Dan. I think Cooper even looked for Dan, and nobody could find Dan. And then all of a sudden he comes up in the appeal, and he is testifying for Nick's defense. And he's the one who said that Gypsy was involved in that BD, blah, 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 thing. Okay. I do think her first call to her dad was weird. I want to talk about that eventually. Yes, they were all friends. Blanchard guy from the neighborhood friends. That's why I said they all knew in 2009 the gig was up. 2009 is when everyone realized. Everyone knew at that point. Everyone knew because she'd been caught in a room with him in a hotel room, standing and having sexual relations. Guys, come on. Are we fucking stupid? Do we really want to keep pretending that their lies are true in any way, shape, or form? Like, fuck, really? Come on. They fucking lie every time they open their fucking mouth. It's my emotional support chicken. And I'm hoping that you guys can buy them again and help support what we do here. But somebody decided to close my TikTok down last night. Nice try, Thea and bitches. Nice try. Anyway, so these are my emotional support ones. And yeah, okay. Everyone knew for the last firm, but she still continued to shave her head, and she had because she was still continuing the con. Like, seriously. They're still silent to silence you. Oh, hell no. Ivan, they always going to try to silence me. They don't like what I have to say about them. Oh, Christy's really mad because I called her a shit parent and said she was 2,000 times worse than Deei. Guess what? I said that shit and I meant that shit and I mean it today. You're my only adult interaction. I do think she might have asked Dan to murder her mother, and I think that Dan and her came up with a plan. I do. Something went wrong. It didn't go the way she planned, just like it's not going the way she planned right now, because Gypsy's plans don't work very well. Because Gypsy's not Deei. Deei taught her well, but there's not a fucking veil for that little girl like there was before. There's no evidence he did anything. There's lots of evidence that he could have been involved, ma'am. Reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt. Look it up. Reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt. Nick talks about him in his interrogation. Why? 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 It's not conjecture on my part. Sorry. It's the facts and evidence of the actual fucking case, not from Gypsy Rose. Okay? There's lots of reasons why Dan could be involved. There's lots of reasons that Gypsy could have done this herself and possibly just convinced Nick to go in and do the 4 little jabs that he was a good boy and did. Okay? Dan's a 35-year-old boyfriend. You don't know that? How, Amy, can I ask you a question? You want to come up in the box, baby? Where are you getting your information? Where are you getting your information? No DNA evidence? We've never seen any DNA evidence. Keep on coming. Ask me some more questions. Where's your proof, baby? Where's your proof? Proof. 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 From the reports that I shared. Really? Have I shared all of the reports? Have I shared all of the reports? I don't have to have proof of every fucking thing to call reasonable doubt, bitch. Sorry, I don't. And I'm not calling you a bitch because I'm being rude to you. I just call everybody bitches. It's just what I do. I'm telling you, there's way more to be talking about Dan. A lot more. There's lots and lots to talk about Dan. Oh, thank you, Shortcake. That's my tagline. Why don't you go do some fucking homework? Go do some fucking homework. I sure as shit did mine. I sure as shit did mine. Okay? I sure as shit did my homework. Maybe you should do yours. And if you want to keep doing homework, keep coming back. Keep coming back. Keep coming back. Do your homework. Don't just take Gypsy's word. Don't just look at Facebook groups. Fucking put a FOIA in. Look at the case files your damn self. Go watch his trial. Go watch his appeal. Go watch his appeal. Reasonable doubt, folks. Reasonable doubt. She took down the Lifetime post. I don't fucking know. I hope that Lifetime pulls her fucking show. Okay? Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and pop off. She worked with her. She has receipts. Yep, I sure to fuck do. I have all the receipts, bitches. All the receipts for all the fucking days. Take the blinders off, like Juan Sor Jam said. Take the blinders off. Stop looking at Gypsy as a truthful source, any of them that are attached to her. And let's just talk facts and case. Because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk facts and case. And then if you still think that Dan wasn't involved, fine. If you still think that she was not guilty and she did her time and all that, that's fine. That's fine. You can believe that. I don't care. What I'm telling you is she's a dangerous fucking person. And so is her fucking family. And the courts and her railroaded Nicholas Godejohn. And I'm trying to get that boy some fucking justice. I'm hoping that we get to take this to the Supreme Court. I'm hoping that I get to help participate in that. Because straight up, Reasonable fucking doubts. That's it. Reasonable fucking doubt. And if you believe in our justice system and you believe it should be fair, then you cannot overlook the fact that there is absolutely reasonable doubt in this case and that he did not get a fair trial. And that's it. That's it. That's what I'm going to leave it on. Hashtag justice for Nick. Because truthfully, I came here because I was pissed. I came here because they silenced me once more. I came here because I was tired of the Blanchards always fucking winning all the fucking time in any way, shape, or form and silencing anyone who ever speaks out against them. That's what I came here for. I came here for myself because I was mad and I wanted a platform. But through all of that and working with my TikTok family and looking at the case file again, I'm here for justice for Nick. Justice for Nick. I've not heard from Bobby, but I have heard from family members. Okay. And, I was used as a weapon against Nicholas in the media, very much so. And that's why I feel it is my duty to make sure that his trial gets to go to the Supreme Court and he gets a fair trial. Because I played a huge part in making sure that that boy was silenced. A boy that she made a man. You know? She wanted Nick's permission to sleep with Dan. And she saw him that day. Reasonable doubt. Justice for Nick. Bye, guys.